Coffee with Friends, and I am raw to the bone. Good morning, y'all. Happy Thursday. We are almost done with this week, y'all. Come on in, come on in. I'm going to start you out with some positive vibes, as I always do, as I get ready for the show. All right? Because wake up, because it's going to be a what?
Wake up early, gon' rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Hey.
Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Come on in, y'all.
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good
Come on in,
day.
y'all. Wake up.
Today's gonna be a good day. Life ain't easy, yo. I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from
Always
the
gotta
demons,
fight.
yo.
Negative thoughts.
The poison they ride. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost.
What?
So I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken. I got patience, one day at a time. That's how you operate again. It's a flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation.
What?
I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best when I take it.
Hey,
Wake up.
come on.
Today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up.
Today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up.
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
Today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Step 1. Today's gonna be a good day, y'all. Come on in. Yes. Step 2. Hey. Hey. Today's gonna be a good day, y'all. Come on in, come on in. Good morning, Mika Norris. Good morning, Mishi Boo. Good morning, Protagonist will be back. He is in the middle of doing his live. So when he's done with his live, he will jump back on here. I love it. I love seeing people doing things. You know, as many people as out there with their podcast and their streams, and they're spreading information. Everyone is not interested in everything people are spreading on their podcast, but you know what, I always say this: there's always an audience for what you are discussing, right? Don't feel bad. Don't look around and try to see you know how many other podcasts or how many other people are doing the same or similar things as you are, right? And don't let people discourage you by telling you, right, that the industry is diluted with, with whatever it is you're doing, right? You doing what you're doing is what brings uniqueness to whatever it is you're doing. Right? Don't let people talk you out of doing whatever it is you're doing. Even when you feel your business is struggling, you're not getting as much input as you should. Maybe you're not making enough money. Maybe you feel you're not making a big enough imprint in the community. Whatever it is, understand this. Even when you think you are not making an imprint in the community, you are. You are. Somebody is watching you, right? Somebody is listening to you. Okay. Somebody is learning from you at all times. Okay. It doesn't have to be a large amount of people, right? But what I find on my show, especially, is that a lot of people don't join in the morning, right? But a lot of people watch my show after the fact. Okay. And they make comments, they might inbox me, they might throw me some topics that they want to discuss. Sometimes people, say they see my show and I didn't even know that they even watch my show, right? And so I want to say this, whatever it is you are out there doing, all right? I got you, Uhu. Anything out there that you're doing, all right, keep doing it. All right. Keep doing it. Ooh, we gonna have to manually sing happy birthday because the last time I played those happy birthday songs, even though it was just for a few seconds, they copyright claim me, which means that my video gets taken out of rotation for anything monetary. So I cannot play the happy birthday songs, but we are going to wish Andy, ooh, who's boo, happy birthday. Come on, y'all. We gotta sing happy birthday to Andy happy birthday. All right. Ooh, who's boo. All right, let me put this on the screen. So we are screaming, happy birthday. Did I spell that right? Yeah, I did. Happy birthday to Andy. Ooh, who's boo. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. You see how I sang that ooh. Tell Andy we said happy birthday from Coffee with Friends. I cannot play the songs, y'all, because they killing me with the copyright. I'm trying to stay away from the copyright infringement. All right. And I don't have a birthday song on YouTube that I'm allowed to use. All right. And so happy birthday, Andy. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Oh, make sure Uhu treats you right today, Andy. All right. This is your day all day. You know me. I take the whole damn month. All right. And so, Coffee with Friends, please continue to wish as you are coming in today, continue to wish Andy happy birthday. This is Uhu's Boo. So I'm going to keep that on screen for a little while so that as people come in, they know whose birthday it is today. Anybody celebrating a birthday, I'm gonna have to go out there and try to find me a birthday song that I don't get a copyright infringement on or have somebody make me one. All right. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna do. All right. I'm gonna work on my own Coffee with Friends birthday song. All right. You see how I came up with that real quick? This way, when there's anybody's birthday on this show, I can the fuck play it as many times as I want because it'll be my song. Where is Clive? I need to get Clive and his kids back on board. RAW needs a birthday song. All right. Good morning, Brandilla. Good morning. As we come in, everybody wish Andy, Uhu's Boo, a happy birthday. Take a minute and wish him a happy birthday. Hey, Johnny Leon Hill. Johnny Leon Hill. I apologize. I went out last night. My girlfriend bought a new house and I went out to have dinner with her, and I ended up over there at her house, and I had to do a video because I'm working on the Coffee with Friends on the Go trip. Not the trip to New Orleans, but the trip because we're still doing that. I still have to book my ticket for New Orleans, but the trip in the summer in August, right? Coffee with Friends on the Go is planning a trip for this summer coming up, all right? Around the August timeframe before the kids get back in school, all right? So make sure you guys are starting to put your $50 to the side for this trip, all right? So last night, just to give y'all an update as to what oh, let me put that back on the screen. Happy birthday to Andy. As people join in, they'll know. Um I want to tell you guys what I did last night, right? So last night, I went to a demo because I am trying to figure out what is the best Coffee with Friends on the Go trip for us in August of 2023. And so last night, I went to a presentation of the Virgin Voyages cruise line. And it's beautiful, y'all. It's all adult, but I don't know if that would be a good first trip for Coffee with Friends because one, I don't want y'all motherfuckers getting confused when y'all fly into Miami and missing a boat and shit like that. And then I don't know how people feel about being on boats, right? But this is an all adult, all inclusive boat ride. No kids, adult activities, the fuck, I love it, right? Because anything I do is with all adults. I mean, I love kids, but when I go on vacation, I don't want a vacation with kids, not unless I'm bringing kids with me. Okay. If I'm not traveling with kids, I don't want to party with kids. I don't. And so the Virgin Voyages is really, really nice. And they have two sales available. Good morning, Pat. And I know Pat would go. They have two sales available in August of next year, right? But I don't know if that's going to be our first trip. That might be our second trip. But I think for the first trip, guys, I want to do a hotel, a all-inclusive hotel where we're on the ground, right? I think that that would be best for our first trip. Maybe the second trip we could do a all-adult Virgin Voyages cruise, right? Maybe for 2024, right? We'll have better planning, understand who likes to be on boats, who doesn't, right? All right. So that is what I'm working on in the background for all those that are interested in traveling with Coffee with Friends upcoming in August. Now, reminder for all those that want to travel with Coffee with Friends in August, right? Everyone that signs up for the trip, I am going to have them sign an NDA, right? Because I cannot have y'all coming back here talking about other people's business. That's not what Coffee with Friends is about. We are a safe space. Even though we are out here on the internet telling the world our business, right? We still need to feel like we can trust each other, right? The same way we could trust each other on this platform is the same way we need to trust each other when we're out, right? And mingling together. All right. And so I am going to request that anybody that signs on for the trip for next year, when they put their deposit, they also sign an NDA. Okay. All right. Y'all understand? All right. So I am looking. My travel agent told me that some of the places that I sent her was too expensive. And so I told her, my fun places, the easy targeted fun places I can think of right off the top of my head is one, Jamaica, and two, Cancun. Those are always fun places to go. Okay. And so there's a new resort that has opened up in Cancun. So she's going to gather some information from me from there. It is a Riu resort. All right. And anybody that has traveled to Riu resorts, some of them are good. Like the one in Jamaica, Negril is one in Jamaica Negril that is under some construction, so it was just so. But for the most part, a lot of the Rios are nice, right? Liquor in the room, all inclusive, adult theme parties and things of that nature. Hey, One Reliable Sin. Hey, Interior Rule. And so I'm hoping that we can get good prices to go to the Rio for a couple of days, and I'm thinking a long weekend. Um, Tulum is another option. I can have her look into Tulum, but Tulum is a little bit pricey. I looked into Tulum for myself, but I can ask her to look into Tulum. Now, guys, the more people that sign up to go on this trip, the better our prices will be. Right. So I need to at least get 10 or more people to be able to go on this trip to get good rates. All right. And so more to come. I should be able to share out the packages. I'm going to be aggressively ramping up on this trip around January or February because I do not want anybody to be stressed with paying for the trip. I want to be able to do deposits and shit. Okay. Listen, Johnny, y'all don't have to behave, but you're going to sign that NDA. That's just to make sure if y'all misbehave, y'all don't the fuck come back here and talk about it because I don't want to hear I don't want to hear nothing when we come back. When we come back from that trip, I don't want to hear nothing. Whatever happens in Cancun or Jamaica, okay, it's going to the fuck stay there. Y'all hear me? Okay? I don't know yet, interior room. I'm trying to keep it. Honestly, I want to keep it at maximum, possibly like 1,200. Right? That's what I'm aiming for. Right? 1,200. Right? A person maybe. Right? And that's what I'm hoping that includes airfare and hotel. right? Y'all motherfuckers can't complain about 1,200, right? We're talking about an all-inclusive hotel with food and unlimited drinks, right? And so that's why I want to give people enough time to be able to pay. When I travel on vacation, 1,200 is normally the minimum I could get a good hotel for about 5, 6 days, right? And so somewhere around there, okay? All right. Well, Ghost, yes. In March, we are going to New Orleans. That's the other trip, but I'm not making y'all sign NDAs for that, right? Because that's not being coordinated solely by me. That is a joint trip that we all agreed that we're going on in March, right? So I mean, here, y'all the motherfuckers are on your own. Y'all are on your own for March. But for August, being that the trip is specifically going to be sponsored and called Coffee with Friends on the Go, I need to make sure that I'm protecting the branding of my name and y'all don't come back here acting tacky. All right. Okay. I'm just saying. All right. And so I should be able to come back with some options from the travel agent. But I would like to say that the Virgin Voyages is a sexy ship and I'm going on it this month. I'm actually going to go on the Virgin Voyages ship this month. You know, I've been booked to get on this ship. And the shit of it is the date that I'm going is November 25th, the day after Thanksgiving. So I'm sitting here pondering, right? I don't like to fly out the day of the day I'm cruising. I don't like to fly out. So I said I'll fly out the day before. But the day before is Thanksgiving. So I'm sitting here thinking, should I spend my days in Miami? Should I spend Thanksgiving in Miami? I mean, really, I don't have any young children. I don't have to cook Thanksgiving. I really don't, right? And so if I fly out to Miami, I could chill in Miami for Thanksgiving and fucking lay on the beach for Thanksgiving, right? And so I'm thinking about doing that, y'all. I'm thinking about flying out to Miami either the 22nd or the 23rd, right? So that I'm out there a couple of days and I'll spend Thanksgiving in Miami. I don't know. I'm thinking about it because who the fuck is going to fly out the morning of their cruise? That makes me nervous. But I am going on Virgin Voyages this month, November 25th. So I will have pictures and I will let you guys know how it was. All right. My girlfriend, the travel agent that's putting together the trip for Coffee with Friends on the Go, actually put together, is actually invited me to go on the Virgin cruise with her. And so I'm so damn excited about that, right? And so I don't have to, I don't even know why I'm struggling over this Thanksgiving thing because who said I had to be home for Thanksgiving? Who said? Who said I had to be home? But you know the unfortunate thing, my homegirl and our Coffee with Friends member Mercedes, although she works and she's unable to join the show, she's in Miami. I could have stayed with her. I'm gonna have to reach out to Mercedes and say, hey, Mercedes, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? I'm headed to Florida. See, I would stay with my mom, but my mom is in St. Petersburg and she is 6 hours from Miami. That's too far, right? That's too far. I would have to rent a car. I could do that too, though. I could do that too. I could actually fly in, stay with my mom, rent a car, and drive to Miami. That's something to think about too. Let me think about that. Let me think about that. Because that is something I could do too. I could certainly drive to Miami. I got some options here. But guys, I just wanted to share that with y'all. I did not forget about our trip in August of 2023. So, good morning, y'all. Good morning. Happy Thursday. I have the topic for today, mean things you did. I had to think about this because, I have some family shit that I remember from when I was a little girl, and I always said I was going to talk about it one day on Coffee with Friends, and I never did because I don't have the courage to really talk about it. Yet that goes to tell me that it's still so fresh to me, even though it's something that happened when I was young, right? From my family members, my cousins and my aunt was involved in the situation, all right? And so I'm just putting that out there, right? My cousins and my aunt on my mother's side of the family. I took on some abuse. I did. I took on some abuse from my own cousins and my aunt that I never forgave them for, right? I just tolerated it, right? And so today's topic is mean things you do when you were younger. Right, to other people. Do you ever think to apologize if you could? If you had access to the person, right? Do you ever think to apologize for the mean shit you did when you were younger? Good morning, Naomi. Or do you just brush it off as though it's the past? Oh, that was the past. That happened a long time ago. Forget about it. And do you think that the person, the victim in the situation, can forget about it because it was in the past? Mean things you do to people when you were younger. Do you ever think to go back and apologize to those people? See, the reason why this question is important is because I know I'm in my healing season, right? And so all of this plays into it, right? How do I enter a healing season, right? And if I know deep in my gut that I've done some traumatic shit to somebody when I was younger and I still have access to that person, I feel like I should reach out to that person and be like, listen, I know some shit happened when we were younger and I need to apologize for that. You know why? Because you don't know what type of closure that other person needs, right? Like I have cousins and I have an aunt and I don't know how they fucking look at me. I don't know how they look at me knowing the abuse I had to tolerate from them for so many years. How do they look at me? But then people in the family that don't know the type of abuse that I had to deal with from my cousins and my aunt on my mother's side of the family, right? They just think I'm mean and I'm bitchy when I deal with them, right? And that's not it. That's not it. I'm not mean and I'm not bitchy. I'm looking at you like, how the fuck can you look at me and call me your cousin and act like you love me when you know that what the fuck you did to me when we were younger? And sometimes I look at them and I say, do y'all just walk around going, it's in the fucking past and get over it? I never got over it. I need them to know that. Right. And so I'm getting to the point where at some point soon, I'm going to confront these motherfuckers with this shit. I am. Right. Because I know that I'm mean. I know that I'm mean to some of them. For example, my cousin texts, a month or two ago, and she texts something about doing a walk with her Eastern Stars for cancer or whatever the case may be. And I responded, oh, so first you don't say hello, and then next you're asking for money, but you don't ever reach out and say nothing else. But when you reach out, you asking for money. And I said it because I'm just angry with them, right? And I look at them like y'all don't give a shit about family members. All y'all care about is what you can get out of a family member when you can get it. And maybe they don't feel that way. But that's how I feel when I look at them. Right? So, mean things you did to others when you were younger, do you ever think to apologize when you get older, if you could? Or do you just brush it off like it's in the past? Right? As you are in your healing season, do you wonder how you can bring peace to someone else you hurt? Good morning, Veronica. Do you? Because if we get on this show and we talk about giving each other grace, right, and being better people, what about the people we hurt? Or do you just continue to brush it off like it's in the past? Anybody ever hurt your feelings? And when you go to tell them that they hurt your feelings, they be like, oh my God, that was in the past. Get over it. Mm-mm. That's mean. That is mean. Naomi said, I did a public apology during my first years of awakening just to set myself free from the guilty or the torment. Okay. A public apology. Now, if my cousin stood up and did a public apology to the general public, I still wouldn't have closure from that. because what she did directly to me. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, it's hard for me to be around some of my family members because as I get older, the hurt just festers. It does. And some of them watch my show and some of them watch my stories and stuff like that, right? And but they already know that I don't care if they watch and they hear what I have to say, right? I remember being at my aunt's funeral, um, and the aunt that's guilty of being a part of the abuse um, sat there next to me and my mom. And she said, Robert, I want to apologize because I was mean to you growing up. I just looked at her. I never accepted her apology. I just looked at her. You know why? Because don't fucking sit at a funeral. And because you see your sister laid up in the casket, you turn around and give me a general apology. No, I need you to understand what you're apologizing for. You said for being mean. No, it was way more than being fucking mean. And I put up with it for years. Okay. And so I did not accept her apology. All right. And the funny thing is there was there's a video going around on TikTok where this woman is standing up at her mother's funeral. I got you, Naomi, in Interior Room, who's standing up at her mother's funeral and she's calling out motherfuckers that are there, asking them, why are you here? You don't even speak to my mother. See, and the AG was laughing at me the other day because I said, oh shit, I respect that woman, right? Because that's how I'ma be. Okay, that's how I'ma be at my mother's funeral. I hope that shit don't happen no time soon. But God willing, I you know, God willing, it happens like 30, 50 more years from now because I'm not ready for it. But I have said to myself, if I have to stand up at my mother's funeral, I'm going to be honest. I am, because I'm tired of a lot of people standing up at these funerals, lying, looking at these people out in the pews, knowing that they didn't give two shits about the person laying in the casket. And talking about thank you for being here. Y'all loved her. Y'all this. Nope. I'm calling motherfuckers out. I'm asking, why are you here? Because you didn't care about her. Why are you here? You just here to be nosy. When I'm done pointing motherfuckers out, there won't be no repass. People need to understand the hurt that they put on other people and be accountable for it and stop brushing it aside like it's in the past. I'm gonna put the guest link up there in case anybody want to jump on. But I'm ranting this morning because this subject crossed my line, my mind, and I said, you know what? It triggers me because mean things you do to people when you're younger and you get older and you expect people to forget about it. Okay, um, Naomi said, people have jumped in my inbox and from there we spoke it out. That's beautiful, Naomi. That's beautiful. Congratulations. Interior Rue said, I had a colleague years ago quit and she did this grand exit where she wrote this long letter highlighting everyone at the job that hurt her. She had a blurb that included me embarrassing her once. Wow. Naomi said, my dad is the one who told me to get over it when I told him about how I struggled with him being in and out of my life. That truly hurt me. That part. That's the shit that I'm talking about. Naomi, you expressed a pain to your father and he told you to get over it. Why do we tell people that? Why do we be like, get over it? Why is it so hard for motherfuckers to apologize and be accountable for the shit that they do? Interior said, I don't like to hurt people. So when I got the letter, I immediately apologized to her via text. Well, I later learned that she had blocked me, so she never got the apology. But you tried. But you tried. Ghost said, I saw that video and I loved it. Ghost, that's going to be me. When I saw that video, I said, say no fucking more. And my family know I'm good for that. I will stand up there and be like a blah blah and a blah the fuck a lie, right? And dare somebody. And dare somebody. Okay? And I will be the one to be like, y'all, the people that know who I'm talking to, don't even try to show up at the repast. Cause you ain't getting none of this chicken. Stop asking people to just forgive or push shit in the past without having proper closure or accountability. And even if you apologize, that might not bring you closure, but there's a level of accountability that's laid out on the table. Johnny Hill said, how can you get to the point where you forgive? What can the other person do? Or how can the person apologize that will get you to the point where you can forgive? I don't know, Johnny. That's a great question. I don't know, but it irritates my ass to think that you're looking at me and I'm looking at you and you think that I'm over what you did to me. Right? Even if they apologize, it might not resolve the hurt completely, but at least I can look at them and say, "Well, damn, at least you took accountability for what the fuck you did. And maybe since you apologized out loud, you won't do it to nobody else." And at that point, I can no longer say they didn't apologize. So now the work is on me. But I can't stand, as I get older, I cannot fucking stand being around people who do not take accountability for their actions. Exactly, Ghost. She called everybody the fuck out, as she should, because people want to show up to funerals and weddings and shit like that and act like they've been loving you all their life, and they ain't. They haven't. Right? And they don't ever think to go back and address the shit that they did to you. They start looking at you like you're crazy because you should just get over it. Well, I'm here to say, y'all, I'm not getting over shit in the time frame that other people expect me to get over shit anymore. If you do some whack shit to me, all right, I'm going to exit the fuck left. All right? If you want to be accountable and discuss it and apologize to me, or if it's something that I did to you and I apologize to you, then we could do that. But the other thing is, once I apologize and once you apologize and we accept that apology, I don't want to hear the shit again. That's the other thing that irritates my ass. When you apologize to someone, don't be throwing it up in their face after the fact. Interior said, fast forward a few years later, I worked with her again and I pulled her to the side to apologize to her. Now I have absolutely no recollection of this occurrence, but she said she really needed that. See? You see, you don't know what people need. You don't know what battles they fight with. Why are we mean to other people and then tell them to get over it? Why? But yet we come on this show and we go, we want to give people grace. Give people grace, but be accountable in your bullshit. Interior said, I just don't like hurting people at all. So if someone brings it to my attention, I absolutely have to address it. That's how I am. I don't like to hurt people's feelings. You know, I have hurt people unintentionally. Some intentionally, right? And regardless whether it's intentional or unintentional, right? I do my best to apologize for whatever it is I imposed on the next person, right? Because my goal is not to hurt you and have you live in that space, right? Hey, Madison, good morning. Good morning, I am Lukeman. Veronica Madison said, girl, I had no repast when my mom died. She gave, fed, and sacrificed everything. No one checked for her in the end. I was devastated, not feeding a soul. See, that's how I might be, Veronica. I'm telling you, I might. I tell people all the time, Why motherfuckers gotta feed everybody at a funeral, right? I know it's the polite thing to do. People sat through a funeral service, but Veronica Madison, listen, we got to be more honest, right? We be sitting around talking about how motherfuckers treat us bad, but then we are catering to them in every way, like at a repast. You ain't checked on my mama. You ain't did shit for my mama. You ain't give a shit for her when she was alive. Why are you here eating this chicken? Be accountable for the shit you do to other people, even when it's in the past. Stop expecting people to get over it. Right, Interior Rule. That is so sad, Veronica Madison. Go say, if I hurt you intentionally, I'm not apologizing for it. You clearly did something to me to make me do that to you. Okay, I understand. But I'm going to read today's devotional to you guys because sometimes we need that shit, right? And just think about today's devotional. November 3rd, the greatest service I can offer is a clear and loving message. Good morning, Soulful BBW. People do not have to hear your message. This is not their responsibility. When you are giving a message, an insight, a revelation, your only responsibility is to deliver what you have been given. What happens once the message is delivered is not your responsibility. If you judge the correctness, accuracy, or power of your message based on how it is received, you will miss the point. Mm. Pause there. When somebody like just now I said, stop allowing people to go on with this hurt without apologizing, right? That's a message that I gave y'all, right? But what it says here is I can't judge the correctness of that message. So if you guys don't get the message or you carry it out in your way, that is on y'all, right? But once I start judging you, all right, then I miss the point of the whole message because we still have a choice. We still operate differently. Okay? Once you, the messenger, miss the point, the message is lost. And anything that I discuss on this show, I never want it to be lost. Hey, Fire One, I never want the message to be lost. Thank you, protagonist. Most of us are well aware that God uses people to do her or his most sacred work. Often we are not sure exactly what it is that God is doing and we become confused. We think that it is our idea that we are doing the work. We assume the responsibility for getting God's work done right. We exhaust our time, energy, and attention trying to make people understand or accept what we are saying or doing. If we do not get support, and agreement from the right people or the right number of people, we doubt ourselves. How many times you went out and you did something, you wanted to start a business, you talked about a topic like the topic we're talking about today, and people might not agree with you, people might not support you, and you walk away feeling defeated. How many times has that happened to you? Especially when you're running a business and you're looking for people to support you in your business and you don't get that support. How many times do you feel defeated? And you doubt yourself. We begin to doubt the effectiveness of the message. Ultimately, we begin to question God's authority. It is important not to lose sight of the fact that we are God's messengers. The purpose of the message or the work we do belongs to God. Once you try to determine who should get the message, how they should receive it, and what the response should be, the purpose, power, and efficiency of the message can be lost. So, once you try to determine who should get the message, how they should receive it, and what the response should be, the purpose and the power and efficiency of the message can be lost. So, because I don't want my message today to get lost, mean things you do when you were younger, do you go back and apologize? I'm going to leave that out there for y'all to think about, right? I'm going to leave that out there for y'all to think about. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to say y'all got to go out and do this shit. This is just a message that I'm sharing. Okay. Until today, you may have judged the importance of what you were saying about life or doing in life in response to the number of people who agreed with and supported you. Just for today, be the messenger. Let your life be the proof that the messages you receive are real And that's what I try to do sitting before y'all as Coffee with Friends host Raw to the Bone. I try to sit here and live through my words that I speak every day on this podcast. Okay? Not forcing anybody else to do what it is I'm doing or support what it is I'm doing, but just passing a message along, hoping that we continue to go down this healing journey. All right. Today, I am devoted to being faithful and an obedient messenger. And that's what I am. And that's what we all can be. Okay. Veronica Madison said, this they came to the house looking for food. I sat on the couch then took dad out only to end up in the ER. The grief was real that day. 52 years of marriage. Mm, I'm so sorry. That's sad. Pat said, I experienced my stepmother calling people out. It was horrible and extremely hurtful at the funeral. The younger people were traumatized. The young folks had no idea what she was talking about. Why do you think they were traumatized, Pat? Why do you think they were traumatized? By hearing the truth, right? Because I'm going to tell you no lie, Pat. My family on my mother's side, every one of them motherfuckers know. So none of them should be shocked and none of their kids should be traumatized. And they can't be no traumatized more than what they've done to me and my mother. And so I'm going to take that note in account, Pat, when it comes my time to stand up and give a speech. I will first start out with, I apologize for anybody's trauma that is triggered based on what I'm about to say. But I need to say what I need to say because my trauma has been triggered over these years. And this portion here is going to give me some closure. So I'm going to start out with that. Okay? I'm going to let these motherfuckers know I'm about to drop some deuces. So if y'all don't want to be traumatized, you can get up and exit left. Okay? So thank you for that tidbit, Pat. I will make sure my opening speech gives clarity to the younger folks that might not know what's going on. But again, my family members also know that I am the one that will stand up there and say some shit. So when they see me coming, they already know, brace your seat. Hillbilly said, forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you so you can move forward. Forgiving doesn't mean they can still be in your life. You know, who made up that statement? Forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. Who made up that statement? Can somebody tell me who made that statement up? Hmm? Because I said sorry to a lot of people that I've hurt and they turned around and still treated me like shit and I felt like shit. Right? And even though I forgave them, I still felt like shit because they treated me like shit. Right? So who made up the statement of forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you? Where the fuck did that come from? I need to know because this is the other thing that scratches my ass, right? You know, in that movie that I watched, Grim Cuddy, which was a sci-fi teen scream type horror thing that's on Hulu, right? But there was a message there, right? We in society take these phrases, right? And we pass them down generation to generation. Oh, forgiveness is for you, it's not for them. Forgiveness is for you, it's not for them. And we are brainwashed to believe these phrases that come out of nowhere across the years, right? And we start following these phrases. Where do these phrases come from? Right? We are following what society again has told us we need to do, right? So we are walking around going, forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. Where did the statement come from? Because I have forgiven many people and I still feel like shit. Where did it come from? Thank you, Hillbilly. That's a famous, popular statement. But where did it come from? Okay? Because I find that society, we come up with these statements, these phrases, these rules, and nobody questions them. It's like, oh, there's a saying out there that says you should do this, and there's a saying out there that says you should do that. Where the fuck the saying come from? How many people on here forgave somebody and it made them feel better? Just say, it's possible. But how many people on here forgave somebody and it made you feel free? Cause fuck that shit. I'm tired of forgiving motherfuckers and still feeling like shit. So I want to know where the statement came from. Fuck that. What makes me feel better is calling motherfuckers out. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm still healing, and I accept that. Okay, I accept that. Ghost said, depending on what you did, I don't care for your apology. I want get back. That'll make me feel better. Right, Ghost? Who made up this thing that forgiveness is for fucking you? Where did it come from? Hillbilly, help us. Help us. We want to do better. Okay, but that statement, it ain't helped me yet. Pat said she told all his friends to get out of her house, screaming in the middle of the floor. I was shocked. Oh, I wouldn't scream. And they wouldn't get in my house in the first place. I'm not gonna scream on my mother's day. I'm gonna be nice and calm like this. Blah 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 and a ba ba ba. And a sa la la. And a bing bang bang. And then I'm gonna exit the stage. Okay? Okay? I mean. Okay. Hillbilly said, if you dwell on them, you'll never move forward. If you forgive, you can put it out of your mind, thus moving forward. Hillbilly, that ain't never worked for me. I forgave a lot of people. The shit still bothers me. Right? And the one thing is, maybe you're right, Hillbilly, because I know for fuck sure, I ain't forgive my cousins and my aunt. I looked her right in her face. I didn't forgive her. And you know what? Maybe there is turmoil in me because I didn't forgive them. But I cannot. I cannot forgive them until I address this situation and until I can bring the words to my mouth. I can't even tell the fucking story yet. And I tell everything else, but this I cannot tell. But you know what? Once I can open up my mouth and tell what these motherfuckers did to me, that'll be a journey to my healing from that pain. Right? But I don't think, Hillbilly, I could ever forgive them for it. Mm-mm. Give me the thumbs up on YouTube if you're there, and give me the hearts on IG if you're there. Because Georgie and Protagonist is keeping count, y'all. Right, Hillbilly, I did not forgive them. I did not, and I cannot. I'm not ready. Now that's my honest, right? And the one thing is I don't want people to tell me to forgive them. I don't want people to tell me that it's gonna make me feel better to forgive them, right? Because that just triggers my trauma. Okay. I'm tired of being on the nice side all the time. These motherfuckers are fully grown and they know exactly what the fuck they did. Okay. And I still want to know where the fuck that statement comes from. Forgiveness is for you, not them. Where did it come from? Because Georgie said they could take that statement and shove it up their ass. That's what Georgie said. Let me go up. Because Georgie said, whoever made that forgiveness statement can kiss my ass. I'm just saying, right? Pat said forgiving is for us because truly forgive releases you from hurt and anger. No, Pat, not for me. Right? This is why I tell y'all, stop putting blanket statements out and applying them across the board for everybody. Right? Not for me. Right? We want to believe that statement. Where the statement come from? Who created that statement? Forgiveness is for you and not them. Forgiving other people make you feel better. I'm here to tell you that it has not made me feel better. The few people that I have forgiven in my life for the shit that they did to me, it didn't make me feel better. I still look at them motherfuckers and be like, what? I could still fight you. But my forgiveness and my grace to them allows me to be standing in the same room and space with them. You understand? But it didn't make me feel better. So why do y'all believe this forgiveness is for them and is this forgiveness is for you and not them? Why do y'all believe this works across the board for everybody? Where did this come from? And why do people tell other people, oh, well, then if you don't feel better, you must not have honestly forgiven? How do you know? How do you know? This is where we have to continue to remind ourselves that everybody is different and everybody handles things different and everything doesn't work the same for everybody. These blanket statements don't work the same for everybody. Okay? That's my opinion. Georgie said, why is calling someone out on the wrong they did wrong? But we supposed to praise them that the good they do. Why we gotta go around forgiving motherfuckers for the wrong that they did in the past and just focus on the good that they doing now? Nah. Why is it wrong for me to stand up and call motherfuckers out for the shit that they did to me? Or the shit that they might have did to my mother? Why do we hide people's transgressions? Why do we go, oh my God, if you stand up there and you tell so-and-so she was foul, now her kids are traumatized because you told her she was foul. Why is that wrong? So the person that's hurt got to be creeping around and apologize nicely to the people that hurt them? Nah. Y'all motherfuckers gonna be accountable in my room. Because basically what you're saying is the person that is hurt has to swallow it with forgiveness. No. Now I'm still healing, so I could be wrong. Morning, Zen. Protagonist says, when I forgive people, it does help me because I forgive, but I never forget. As a math man, we use all the new data to formulate a new hypothesis. Well, some people, and that's great, protagonist. I'm glad that worked for you. But some pain that has been instilled on me is so deep, it bleeds often. It won't heal. Right? And every time I look at these motherfuckers, it leaks. Protagonist, I already said I never forgave them. I did not forgive these people, and I will not until I address it. I don't know where that phrase forgiveness is for you, not them comes from, but it ain't working in this case. I don't care how many times I prayed about forgiving them, how many years I've prayed for forgiving them. Okay? Forgiveness is not coming. Chef Yu said, I'm not forgiving my mom's family. She was abused by them as a child and continued to treat her children as outcasts. My mom and sisters forgives them. Right, Chef Yu. And see, these are the people that need to be called out when they come around to the funerals and the weddings trying to act like they love you. No, the fuck you don't. No, you don't. Why can't there just be acceptance in not forgiving somebody? Why must we forgive? Who said we have to forgive? Who said? Who said we have to forgive? That's a law somewhere, or somebody made that up in society and we just marching to the beat of that dime? I'm asking because I'm still healing, so I need y'all. Yoga Girl Side said, forgiving people who do you wrong comes from manipulative people and manipulative ideologies. They want to do whatever they want to you and then ask or expect you to forgive. That part! Western, because where did it come from, Yoga Girl Side? Who taught us to forgive other motherfuckers even when they didn't apologize to us? Who taught us that? Where did we learn that from? Where did we learn that from? Why are we looking at people who cut motherfuckers off for doing them wrong? We looking at the person that did the cut off side eye. Why? Why must we keep people in our lives that mistreat us? Why must we forgive? Who taught us that? So that we must forgive their bad behavior so that they can continue to have bad behavior, but I'm supposed to feel better because I forgave them? Nah. Thank you, Yoga Girl Side. A person has to do what's right for their soul, spirit, and energy. And I couldn't say that no better. I'm going to put that shit on the screen because a person has to do what is right for their soul, spirit, and energy. And with that, I want to say to y'all, stop going around telling people forgiveness is for you, not for them. And if you don't forgive, this is that, and that is this. Nothing good is going to come to your life. Stop telling people that. Right? Because people have to do what is right for their soul, their spirit, their energy. You know, when we push other people's ideologies on other people and they don't really believe it, you continue to add to their trauma, in my opinion. Because then I walk around feeling like I'm wrong because I can't forgive these motherfuckers. Why am I wrong? Because I'm not forgiving them. But they're the ones who did something to me. So now I'm walking around with a guilt because I didn't forgive them. My life ain't never going to be peaceful. Who taught us that? Who taught us that? Interior said, okay, I don't want to get beat up for my views. Never, not here on Coffee with Friends. We are allowed to have different views. That's what makes us different, right? But isn't there a chance that when we hold on to those hurts, it could manifest into sickness into our bodies? That's what I have always heard. I believe it when I have witnessed people dying from broken hearts. I don't know, Interior, but I don't dwell on. I guess it's possible, right? I don't dwell on, the hurt that bad, but it's just there. Like when I see them, it's there, right? And believe me, it's not going to kill me. What's going to kill me is motherfuckers keep telling me to forgive these motherfuckers, because I'm gonna be like, no. Don't make me feel guilty for not forgiving them for hurting me. I don't care. Where did that phrase come from? Zen said forgiveness is for the person for the person that was wronged, not for the person that was the wrongdoer. Georgie said this at Yoga Girl Side. I was thinking the same thing. Hillbilly, thank you. I am not required to forgive. Exactly, Hillbilly. You're not required to forgive. But the thought out here in society, we pass the message to people all the time saying, if you don't forgive, that's on, forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is for you. And we pass this guilt on to the person that's been hurt. Because now you got people like me walking around going, damn, I'm not forgiving these people, but, I'm supposed to. That's another guilt for the person that was hurt, because here I am struggling with forgiving these motherfuckers. And then I got to hear people say, you need to forgive them because forgiveness is for you. You're never going to have peace unless you forgive them. So now I had to deal with the trauma. I had to deal with the fucking abuse. And now I got to deal with, having the struggle of not forgiving them. And I need to forgive them to give myself peace. Where did this come from? Chef, you said at Interior Rule, I don't think about them on a daily, but I just don't mess with them. No family gatherings for me. Right. They had family reunions in Barbados. I never went to one. What am I going for? We don't act like a family and we live right here. We live right here. So I'm going to fly all the way to Barbados to mingle around with motherfuckers that live right here that I don't see? Come on now. Come on now. Yoga Girl Side said people who tell you basically mandate that you do it are also manipulative. The point is for the individual to come to terms with what happened, resolve it within yourself, and to move on. Period. Yoga Girl Side, period. Let me resolve this shit within myself and move on. I don't have to give this person, an open forgiveness, right? And I'm still having struggle resolving it within myself. And so it's not resolved yet. And it's not going to be resolved until I could talk about it. When I could bring it to my mouth and I could talk about it and I can address them motherfuckers with it, that's how RAW resolves shit. That's when I know that I can start healing from it, when I can start talking about it. If you go on my YouTube channel and you listen to some stories that I tell a lot of stories about my life. There are some stories that's still hard for me to discuss. Protagonist, for the 50th time, for you and Hillbilly and everybody else, I have said on here 5 million times, I did not forgive them. I never said I forgave them. I said I did not forgive them and I will not forgive them. And people, it makes my ass itch when people tell me, "Oh, you're not going to have peace cuz you don't forgive. You have to forgive them for you." No, I don't forgive them. I said it a million times. I never said I forgave them. I did not, and will not forgive them. Period. Because I feel all these years my silence gave them enough time to come around and apologize to me for what the fuck they did. And since they didn't, now they're going to hear it from me eventually. And then after that, I'll think about my next move. Yoga Girl Side said it's rooted in Christianity because asking for forgiveness and then being forgiven, no matter what you've done, this is a Christian concept. Oh, well. I never said I was perfect. I ain't perfect. Pat said, if it still bothers you, it means you haven't forgiven. Oh my God, guys. Are these comments like late? Because I said on here a million times, I did not forgive. I did not forgive. I will not forgive. All right. Being angry and not forgiving is like drinking poison, expecting them to die. See, that's another saying. That's another saying that's negative to a person that's dealing with trauma, right? Because essentially, again, Pat, see, this is where society, we don't even know the things that we say to each other. Right? Because some of these sayings, when people are dealing with trauma, and thank God, some of y'all better be reading It Didn't Start With You, the book. All right? Because let me tell you something. These sayings that we say to each other, some of them are toxic. Like the saying, not being angry and not forgiving is like drinking poison and expecting them to die. So basically, you're telling me that I'm hurting myself constantly over and over again because somebody else hurt me. And so now it's my problem and I need to fix it for myself because it's like I'm drinking poison, killing myself because somebody else hurt me. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help me. Again, it's still relieving the other person's accountability. Why is the person that's been hurt taking on the weight of forgiveness? I don't understand. Why do we do that to each other? Not forgiving and being angry is drinking poison and killing yourself. Great. Another negative thing to a person that's struggling with forgiveness, got to think about that. Oh, this is on me. It's like I'm drinking poison and I'm killing myself. So another guilty thing that pushes me to believe that I got to forgive these motherfuckers. No. Yoga Girl Sai say, in the Black community, we keep the wrong secrets and protect predators. How deep do we want to go today, people? Because I'm ready. Deep, deep. Because I'm telling you, we keep a lot of motherfucking secrets in families, and we forgive people and let them carry on with the same bullshit and nonsense. No. In my youth season, in my healing season, something in my spirit is saying, you need to be honest with motherfuckers. Why we got to keep quiet in our mouth and forgiving people for our own peace? I'm just asking. Exactly, protagonist. Protagonist said, until it heals, you can't forgive. How can it heal? How can it heal? This shit goes so far back to when I was young, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. How can we forget? How can I heal from it? We learned it from Jesus. There we go again. The fuck. Jesus. We don't even know what the fuck he really said. Don't get me started on that because I don't want to offend no Christians on here. I believe there's a higher power, but come on now. Okay? All right. Let's see what Yoga Girl Sai got going on. Let me turn the camera around. Hey, Yoga Girl Sai.
Hey guys, how are you? Good
We are good.
good.
Good morning. Good morning. So let's talk
I
about
wanted
this
to
shit.
jump. So the ultimate point is for the person who has been offended against to come to terms with what happened. Some transgressions are deeper and are rooted, more deeply in a person. Like if you're a young child, transparent. If there's something that you haven't talked about, that means that's super deep and super painful. Your upbringing as a child, most likely, and so it. But ultimately, that is how you're going to have peace. You don't have to forgive somebody for you to have peace with it. And I want to make sure that I make my Christian statement very clear. People got Christianity was through slavery. I'm not talking about the doctrine of what was actually said in the Bible given to us. And so in that culture, we are told to master, which was the person who gave it to us. And so that is part of our Western culture and society does to you. You're supposed to forgive them. That is absolutely crazy. It goes against your natural instinct to protect yourself. I don't want to go forgive somebody who transgressed against me and violated me at my very core. The only example of something that, well, actually, there's another one, but one that is that guy molested me. You know this, Robin.
Yeah, yeah. On
In
your trip.
Miami,
Yeah.
2 years to really get past that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were at a club. Robin was there, but I picked up a
I was there.
bottle and threw it at his and I threw it at his face. I missed, but I was trying to knock his. Ultimately, it's just the only time I ever talk about that is when I talk about this. My point is this: to forgive somebody else, to find inner peace. You have to come to terms is and come to peace with that, because in the process of doing that, then you issues, and in addressing those deeply rooted issues, you're able to release hurt gate, and you release that. That's how you come to terms with it. I don't think about this Miami dude anymore because I've come to peace. I've come to terms with it. I've made peace with it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of forgiveness is for you was on Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried that with the dude who I said I forgive him. That didn't work for me.
Exactly.
And I was living I was living in the city, and I used to rise out of my bed pissed. You know why? Because I said to myself, today I'll have a normal day, because I like being around men used to scare me, just stuff that wasn't normal. So you are going to have a normal day. And I was so pissed off. I had myself. But once I did that, I stopped thinking about dude. And I found peace. And I never forgave him. He don't have to come on, son. You don't have to do that. All
Yeah.
the power you. It's painful, but it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. Now imagine, Yoga Girl Sai, that guy that did that to you in Miami, right? Imagine if you had to see him every now and again, occasionally.
So I have asked myself that. What if you go to Miami and you see him? What you gonna do? And I said, one. Number two, if I saw him, I might not do anything. So respond and tear the motherfucking club up. Excuse me. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I might do. Now, you know what happened, but it seems like it was when you were younger. I was a grown woman, so I was able to process it because seems like you were a young child, and that's a part of a person's foundation.
Exactly.
And
And
so
it happened for years. It wasn't like one incident. It went on for years, the abuse from when I was a little kid. You understand what I'm saying? So this is not like a one night when the parents left us home alone and they fucking did some whack shit. That ain't that. This is spending summers with your cousins and they fuck with you all summer long. All right.
Mm,
All summer long for years. All right. And so for me, when I have to see these very same cousins throughout my years growing up, I try not to see them, but some family events, we wind up in the same room. When I see them, I look at them like, bitch, I want to cut you. I do. Because I say to myself, when they looking at me, I know they didn't forget because it wasn't one incident. It was years.
right, right.
So how do you look at me and tell people that I'm your cousin and you love me? And you know what the fuck you did. Like, I can't live in a space like that. Like, I look at them and I'm like, no. I'm going to fucking address this shit with y'all one day. Y'all not going to like it. And I'm still not going to forgive y'all because y'all had plenty of time. Y'all had ample time across your years to address this situation. You understand what I'm saying? And when you look at me, I know you remember, but you know what? A lot of motherfuckers won't say sorry because they know the shit was so foul that saying sorry makes them deal with the shit that they did.
That's right. That's right. I want. I don't know if you're done.
I'm done.
I think it's really brave of him because it seems like this is a part of the space that was a little difficult for you to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to recognize, that and hold space for that. And I'm also going to say, you can say whatever you want to say, regardless of who's around, because that is your experience and you have the right to do that. And you do not have to, they feel. They have to deal with the fact that probably happened to them. That's their work. If you want to, if you want to let them know, say it. You don't have to go to any other family functions and not say anything to them. Say, if it's in the New York area, I'll go with you because I don't celebrate holidays. I'll go with you. So you can have some support. If you want to cuss those motherfuckers out, do that. I will be right there. You have the right to get this off your chest, and you don't want to miss out on the opportunity to do whatever you want. Knocking them out, cussing folks out. They deserve to hear it, and you deserve to get it off your chest.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Yoga Girl Style. Look what time it is, 9:13. But yeah, so this was something real and personal to me, this topic, mean things you did, when you were younger, because I have been talking on this show for over a year about, summers with my cousins and something that, has impacted me and still affects my life. And I'm still not able to talk about it. And I hate when people go, oh my God, just forgive these motherfuckers. I'd be like, what? No. Why do I have to? And why do people make the person that had the transgression done to them feel guilty because they are struggling with forgiving the next person? Why do we do that to the victim? Why do we tell the victim, "Oh, you wrong cuz you don't forgive?" Why do we do that? We got to do better, people. Right? It's like the victim gets re-victimized because every time you tell them they need to forgive, it's like the trauma just gets piled on and piled on because now I'm dealing with, am I wrong because I didn't forgive them for the wrong they did to me? Like, so I'm wrong for what? And so I just want to say, anybody that's dealing with not being able to forgive somebody, don't feel guilty for that. Fuck that.
That's right. That too. Don't feel guilty.
Don't feel guilty for that. Stop taking a fucking statement that people throw out in the air and go, forgiveness is for you. No, that you are for you. You are for you. Your feelings and your emotions fucking matter.
That's right.
They do. They do. And if you decide to forgive them, good for you. Good for you. But if you don't let people make you feel guilty because you don't forgive somebody, because everybody is different and everybody gets to their landing place at different times.
That's right. That's right. And through different methods. Yep. And if forgiveness works for you, then go ahead and do that. If it doesn't work for you, one thing that we need to stop doing in the Black community is protecting these predators. We have to stop people who do the wrong things.
Exactly. How many motherfuckers
You know,
are sitting in
I
their
have,
family dinners Thanksgiving right now, knowing that uncle at the end of the table and played with their snatch, but y'all keeping it a secret because it's a family secret? And then when he passed away, they stand up talking about how good of a man he is. No, he was a
yep,
molester. Let's be
that's right.
fucking
Speak on
honest,
it, girl.
y'all.
We have to blow this up, because what we're teaching are okay to do it, and it's okay to hide it, and it continues and continues and continues. And when we look at where does this come from in our community, where does it up, and it makes some people uncomfortable as descendant of enslaved Africans, Pan-African, of what we do came from that experience. And right now we are living in the age where we acknowledge the rest it, so we can stop passing that type of sickness on to our children. Dropping that here, conversations like this and platforms like Coffee with Friends is ours. Do that. We do it because we saw other people do it.
Yeah.
Where did they get it from? Because it happened to them and they saw people do it. And then when you keep going back and back and back, eventually you're going to meet your ancestor who had to deal with that stuff.
Exactly.
I'm going to say this real quick. Family member who made an inappropriate comment to me about my butt. Told that person's wife. She told so this was my uncle by marriage, and he, no, I told her what he did. And so then what he said, let me be clear, what he said, right? That he said that to me when I graduated from 77. I didn't say anything to anyone. I said it to somebody the first time. I repeated it out my mouth from 97 to 2004. And then until my aunt was dying is when I said something to her because she was pissing me off. Long story short, their daughters don't speak to me now because I told the truth. He said he validated it. One of my cousins was cussing me out via text. I'm like, why don't you just call me? She cussing me out via text. And I said, well, if it's not true, your father's crazy, because he already them both. They can verify that. So my cousins don't speak to me because of it. And the excuse was, well, you know how he is. He's making
so they're making excuses for his inappropriate behavior. Of course. We lost your volume.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. You making excuses by justifying it, saying how she's even younger, and she heard that nonsense when she was a teenager, and that makes it better. Have it, because I'm not gonna be one of those black people passing this nonsense along so that it's perpetuated. Blow it up.
Yep. Thank you for that, yo girl. Thank you for that.
And anybody else who do what you need to do for you.
Exactly. Thank you for the word. I appreciate that. All right, guys, I got to move to closure. I'm going to read some of these comments, but Yoga Girl Side, that was a whole damn word, and I appreciate you jumping on here today. We needed it.
Yes.
Thank you, baby girl. Let me read these comments. I love you. All right. Wow, that was beautiful. All right. Lisa Skinner said, well, Johnny Hill has a question that we're probably going to carry over to tomorrow. For those who are not willing to forgive, how is living with forgiveness working for you? Living without forgiveness working for you? That's a great question, Johnny. We need to carry that over to tomorrow, right? How is living in a space of unforgiveness working for you? Great question. I'm going to try to answer that shit tomorrow. Lisa Skinner said, we must debunk most of our society norms that dictate most of our thought processes. We must instill processes that are conducive to who we are. That part. Woo-wee! Wait a minute, Lisa. You done came in here with a whole fucking word. We must debunk most of society norms and instill processes that are conducive to who we are as an individual. We are still expecting everybody to take these society norms and run with them like cookie cutters, but it don't work for everybody because everybody is not the same. Okay? Hillbilly said, I was beaten and locked in closets as a child. I lived the first half of my life hating them and hurting myself. After forgiving them, my life moves forward without them. I love that, Hillbilly. I love that for you. And I would never sit here and tell people not to forgive. What I'm saying is, if you have the ability to forgive and your life runs smoothly, that is kudos to you. But be careful not to re-victimize a victim who is suffering with some pain and some trauma and telling them just to forgive the person, because it might not be easy for them. Right? This is all a part of giving people grace and understanding that we're all different. We all don't land on the platform at the same time. And like Yoga Girl said, with the same methods. So what worked for you might not work for the next person. Stop instilling what you believe onto the next person as if it's going to work for them the same way. Oh, Zen, I was going off. Zen said, you kept asking who taught us this. Jesus did. That's where it started. I didn't say it was right. I'm just answering right. No, I know you didn't say it was right. And I wanted somebody to say it came from the Bible. Right? I wanted somebody to say that. Because that don't make it right. Everything. You interpret the Bible. People interpret the Bible and the words in the Quran and all these other books, the hadiths and everything else that's out there in the ways they want to interpret them. I can't say, Johnny, I don't know. I'm sure the Quran talks about forgiveness. I'm sure it does. Right? I'm sure it does. But it doesn't always explain how to get to that endpoint of forgiveness, right? Somebody came up with just these phrases to say, forgive them is good for you. How? Where is the tools and the navigation to be able to do that? That's not in the Bible. It's just a phrase, right? But real life, people that are out here walking real life that got to live within that phrase, it ain't easy. Yeah, I'm sure other religions, turn the other cheek kind of thing. Somebody slap you, turn the other cheek, be like Jesus. Well, I'm not like Jesus. I'm not. Okay. Johnny said forgiveness goes both ways. If you did something wrong to someone else and you ask forgiveness and they forgive you, you know how you now have to work to forgive yourself. That's where the feeling better comes in. Zen said, let's clear it up. It may not be the right thing for everybody, but like you said, it does work for some and it's great. That does work. I don't know how it works, but I try. Exactly. And I'm not discouraging anybody to stop forgiving. What I am telling people is stop, telling other people that are struggling with forgiveness that they're not going to have peace. That's what I'm saying. I'm not telling you, other people, to stop forgiving. What I'm saying is if you see someone that's struggling with forgiveness, stop throwing this one phrase out. Forgiveness is for you, not them. That's not helping. That doesn't help me. Exactly, Yoga Girl side. Exactly. And in this case, this transgression did not go both ways. Yoga Girl side said forgiveness doesn't always go both ways because there's not always a two-way transgression. And that part. The general said, I forgive them for myself, but that person has to be forgiven in your time, not words. Okay. Pat said, when we are saying forgive, we mean release it for you to heal. It's like picking a scab, and I understand that. But again, everybody is different, right? What worked for you might not work for the next person. We have to respect that and stop abandoning people by telling the victim that they need to forgive or they're not going to have peace. Stop saying that. That's not helpful. And with that, y'all, this was Coffee with Friends. This was a deep day, y'all, because like I said, I'm still unpacking a lot of shit. And I'm unpacking it right in front of y'all. And I'm not saying the stuff that I say is right. I'm just telling y'all how I feel. I have to be honest with y'all and let y'all know how I feel because that's how I heal. Johnny said the transgression can be one-sided, but the act of forgiveness goes both parties. Forgiveness for the person who did wrong and the person who was wrong. We're going to have to continue to talk about this tomorrow, right? Because I'm confused at what I need to forgive myself for. Forgive myself for holding myself hostage in this pain for all these years? Is that what I'm forgiving myself for? Or am I forgiving myself for being dropped off in the summers to my grandparents' house? Right? Am I forgiving myself because I had no control over where I babysat, where I had to stay for the summer? Do I forgive myself for that? Do I forgive myself for all the nights that I cried out for my grandparents to help me and they ignored me? Do I forgive myself for that? Do I forgive myself for being a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old and helpless and couldn't defend myself? Do I forgive myself for that? So what am I forgiving myself for? Am I forgiving myself for not knowing how to forgive them all these years? Am I forgiving myself for what? We got to continue this tomorrow. Yoga Girl Sai said, so according to that, the victim needs to have the transgressor to forgive them in order for the victim to heal. Johnny, how does that make sense? Because that's what society told us. That's what society told us. We must forgive motherfuckers that do us wrong in order to have peace. Society told us that. And religious people told us that. The religious books tell us that. We're going to continue this tomorrow. But I appreciate you motherfuckers for joining Coffee with Friends. This show is about unpacking trauma and talking about real life situations and helping each other grow. And I appreciate every last one of you for participating and injecting because this is how we learn from each other, right? For real, y'all. I'm going to walk away from this live and I'm going to take in everything Yoga Girl Sai said, everything Johnny Hill said, everything Pat said, everything Uhu said, and everybody else on here said. And I'm going to let that shit marinate. Zen, Hillbilly, everything y'all said, I'm going to let it marinate. Because that's what this show is for. Pat said, forgive yourself for picking the scab as an adult and not healing. Now that is a great response. Now I can see that. Forgive yourself for constantly picking the scab and not healing. I love it. And with that, y'all, this is Thursday. Y'all know what tomorrow is. Tomorrow is Freestyle Friday, but we're going to talk about this forgiveness shit because this is deep for me and I need y'all help, y'all, because there's people that I just, I'm struggling, y'all. I'm struggling. I need y'all help. Johnny said, I'm saying the person who was wrong needs to forgive so they can heal. The person who did wrong needs to change and forgive themselves. We're going to talk about this more tomorrow because, you know, a lot of motherfuckers are walking around hurt. And the victims have this extra guilt on them because they're having trouble forgiving, right? And society tells them they need to forgive. More on that tomorrow. But with that, y'all, the link is in my bio. Make sure you are following me across all my platforms, Facebook, IG, YouTube. If you go to YouTube, make sure you subscribe, you hit the bell. TikTok, I'm out on TikTok. What is my name? Robin White 86 on TikTok. It should have been Raw to the Bone, but I messed up. But anyway, y'all, follow me across all my platforms, right? Let's ramp up for tomorrow, which is Freestyle Friday. All right. There go Mishi Boo again. Forgiveness is for you, so let it go. That's not a good statement to tell somebody, Mishi Boo. That statement is triggering for me. Okay? It's very triggering for me, and that's my honest. All right. Stop telling the victim to let shit go. Stop doing that. It irritates every bone in my body to tell the person that has been victimized to just let it go. It's insensitive. Some shit is not just easy to let go. But anyway, y'all know what I say. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Have a good day, y'all. And welcome back tomorrow. All right. And with that, y'all, have peace, love, and blessings. All right. This show is for us to unpack some shit, continue to love up on ourselves and our brothers and sisters, and to keep in mind what?
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Hey, hey, hey. This is Coffee with Friends, and I am Raw to the Bone. Thank you for joining my show and having so much input. And let's continue to heal, y'all. It's about healing and being better lovers, better co-workers, better moms, better friends, better siblings. All right. And with that, I'm out, y'all. Get this message. Gone for now, but never forever. Peace.
Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll see with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go.
Hey,
even when you feel slow,
you can still go.
Even when there's no hope, you can still go.
I never. Peace.